I am exactly like Neo in the Matrix, except with pole dancing and pottery instead of kung fu. Hello cuties, I'm Gabriella Rosie. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about how life is a video game, and these are my tips on how you can upgrade your character. So a huge thing that really annoys me is that I think people really limit themselves by seeing themselves and seeing life in a very two-dimensional way of seeing, this is where I'm from, this is what I've done so far, this is what I have to keep doing. And it can be really easy to completely be blind to all of the options and opportunities that we have available to us all of the time. There are always different choices that we can make and different decisions that we can activate that lead us on different journeys and create different outcomes for ourselves. And this is in no way discrediting or ignoring the different levels of privilege that we are all awarded. They absolutely exist. They exist within this theory of a video game, right? For me, this feels like a really freeing way to choose to see the world and to choose to see how my actions can impact the world around me, and things that I've noticed and observed and, seen really happen in my own life when I've chosen to take action in big ways and take risks and do things that I probably didn't expect myself to be able to do. That's when we show ourselves different outcomes. I don't necessarily want to get too much into the simulation theory of everything, but a book that I really like is This Little Guy by Alan Watts, which is the book on the taboo against knowing who you are. It's a very philosophical take on somewhat of a simulation theory that I really like. There's a concept that Alan Watts talks about in this book as a metaphor of how the world works, or what the experience that we're having right now is, and he compares life and our experience to God playing hide and seek with themselves. So that in everything there is this collective consciousness, God, whatever you want to call it, that exists in all things, but it's ultimately our job as the person who is experiencing the world around us to be able to notice and find God in everything, and to play this game of hide and seek essentially with the universe. So reading this book, what it really made me think was how we can choose to follow different paths and pursue God in different ways, or pursue our enthusiasm, our joy. We can choose to pursue deliciousness and all the things that make our life worth living and fun and great. We can choose to pursue that or not pursue it in as many different ways as is available. There is no one way to do life. We get to make a bazillion different choices all of the time, and that creates, our final outcome. What I am playing around with, and the ideas that I've been exploring around the concept of you being really intentional about choosing things that's going to transform you into the kind of character that you want to be. How can you create the kind of traits in yourself that you want? How can you build the kind of skills in yourself that you want? And really looking at life as an active participant, an active player in this thing, instead of just seeing it as everything just happening to you or everything happening at you, and you are just at the whim of what life throws at you, and then you have to respond to the things that happen. For me, it feels a whole lot more empowering and inspiring to see life as somewhat under my influence, that I can have an impact on my life and the world around me. Shifting your lens like this can help you become so much more aware of the things that you can actively do to feel good, to have the experiences that you want. Something that I've really been doing over the last year or so in like a very systemized way is about every month or so, I will sit down and I'll write a list of all the things that I want to try. What are all the things that I want to do? Like restaurants I want to visit, books that I want to read, classes I want to take, projects that I want to do, all of the things that are going to require me to do something a little bit different, maybe add something new into my calendar. The whole goal of me doing this is because I want to be aware that I do have possibilities all the time. There are things that I'm excited about and that I want to do, and it really helps me prioritize, even if there are months where I don't necessarily have as much time, or if there's something that I want to do but I don't have the capacity to fit it in that month. Just being aware that I have all of these different goals and all of these different ambitions, it really helps me be motivated in the projects that I am doing at that time, because I know that my skills will develop, my outlook on the world will develop, I will develop through doing that thing and in understanding what my future priorities might be. Like if I'm aware that I want to go do something that's going to require me to take a month off working, then I know that my work now, I have to situate things. I have to make things align so that I am able to prioritize these experiences that I want to have. It can be really easy to see something and be like, oh, I want to do that, or I want to have that thing, or go to that place, and just let it brush away. What I'm really excited about is when I see these things, or when I think of these things that I want to learn how to do, or whatever it might be, instead of thinking that that's good for some people, or maybe one day, I want to take action on bringing that into my life in some capacity right now. So more recently, that has looked like taking pottery classes and starting my pottery making journey, something that I thought about for years. And when I wrote it down on my list for long enough, it made me realize that this is something that I really want to do. And that leads us perfectly to the next step. So after you've written this list of all the things that you want to do, the ways that you want to upgrade your character, the ways that you want to evolve yourself, the next step is to take action, to choose some things on that list and to make the bookings. So for me, I looked up pottery studios in my area, I booked myself into a course, I put it on my calendar, and I've just finished that course. The reality is the things that you want to do, that you wish you could do, are probably a lot closer than you think they are. They're probably not something that you have to wait for retirement to do. You can probably figure out a way to take a class or learn that thing on your own or book a flight, whatever it is, but there are going to be ways that you can fit in some aspect of starting that journey, at least right now. So make the booking, put something in your calendar, take it from an idea, take it from a dream and transform it into something that you're actually doing. It's just part of your life now. It's on the calendar, it's happening. So now you're figuring out what things that you want to do. You're keeping yourself open to continually add to this ongoing list of things that you want to try and things that you want to do. And most importantly, you're regularly checking in and booking yourself in to do some of those things, to try them out. The undercurrent of this that is really, really important and very crucial is to treat it as a game. If you're understanding that you can tap into all of these different skills, that you can learn different things, that you can create different opportunities for yourself, the important thing is that you remember this is a game. This is all fun. This is all play. And I say that because when we have ideas for things that we want to do, when we have dreams, it can be very, very easy to future trip on those dreams and plan out a huge vision of what's going to happen when you do that thing and how much your life is going to transform. That is taking this thing so far away from a game. It's making it so serious, it's putting so much pressure on it, and it's going to be really, really hard for you to enjoy it when you start and you already have like this list of expectations for yourself. How can you switch your thinking to see that everything doesn't have to have a concrete outcome? Everything doesn't have to change your life or be something that you do forever, but you get to treat things as a different side quest or a different mission that you're doing in this game. Even if you don't want to continue doing something, you'll have no doubt learned something about yourself in the process, and also you've scratched off an option, so you're getting yourself closer and closer to finding things that you do really love to do and that you do want to continue to do full time. I really wanted to talk on this because I think there is so much seriousness around starting projects and following creativity, and I think sometimes that seriousness is somewhat necessary, especially if you're in the early stages and you do want to have your creativity be your job to give you a full-time income. There is a level of seriousness that's required to handle it, to make things happen. You have very specific goals and you're working towards those goals, absolutely. But mostly I think it's really important, no matter whether we're doing creativity as a hobby, whether we're doing it as our job, how big of a role it takes in our lives. But no matter what, it is so important to allow yourself to experiment and be playful with things and to be not at all serious with the new pursuits that you are doing. It's a huge thing that can really hold people back from really be able to develop the skills or even really be able to start at all. This fear of not being good straight away, this fear of being a beginner or being seen to trip up and not know how to do something. It is so powerful being a beginner. If you are someone who is like comfortable eating shit and laughing when you mess something up, you have a superpower because you're gonna do that thing, you're gonna mess up, you're not gonna be afraid to mess up, so you're taking a bigger risk, and when you do that, you learn more, you learn faster, you develop so much faster, rather than if you were stuck back on the sidelines, afraid to take a step and just thinking and ruminating on the thing that you want to do. To be in the game, you have to be taking action. You have to be playing with things. And that is the key here. If you want to upgrade your character, if you want to become the person who does all these things and has this amazing life and has created beautiful things to share with other people, that is going to require a whole lot of action taking. And if you can tell yourself a story that you're upgrading your character and you're playing in a video game to make it more fun and to make it seem less serious and make you realize that it isn't serious, and your experience of learning things, of developing your skills, of developing your own style and who you are is the best way that you can spend your life. And there is no like final destination. There's no point where you're going to have learned enough and you'll never be a beginner again. There's always going to be new things and new ways that you develop. So the sooner you're able to be okay with sucking, be okay with being a beginner, and really taking action, doing the things that you want to do, allowing yourself to follow your intuition, to be guided by maybe who you innately are, but also the inspirations that you're seeing around you. Because if you aren't feeling excited or enthusiastic by life, this is a very important thing and a very powerful thing that you can do, of taking notice, paying attention to yourself, paying attention to where your desires might lie, and taking whatever steps you can to make more of your life be filled with the things that you want to do and exploring the ways that you might want to express yourself. Let me know how you go with this. I hope you've liked this episode. Remember, you can be, do, and have anything and everything that you desire. I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.